Hi, my name is Ian Wilson from Spatial Modeling Solutions. I'm going to briefly take you through the Environmental Management Framework, or EMF GIS-Tool, as it's been set up for Saldanha. It's been set up as an ArcGIS Explorer project for Saldanha, and there's another project set up for Drakenstein, and these two projects are identical pretty much. And the queries I show you in this particular project, the Saldanha project, will be applicable to the Drakenstein project as well. Right, the first thing to do is open up our project, and to do that we come up to this this icon in the top left hand corner of the screen and click open, and then navigate to where our project is. If you have the project folders, it will be in the GIS tools folder, Saldanha EMF folder, and then this is the actual project here. So just select that and then click open. Okay, so that will eventually open, and what we'll do is add the layers to our table of contents, and then the layers as they are displayed in the map view here. Okay, so what we've done is we've added these GIS layers as they appear in the EMF GIS projects with the same symbology and colors. You can expand the layers to have a look at the colors and the various layers added here. Okay, just all grouped into one layer. So for the various EMZ zones, they're grouped into their EMZ loan project group or group layer. And then this is a more generalized version, so that's the consolidated version of the various EMZ zones. But the layer that we're concerned with, and the one we're going to be performing a query on, is the cadastre layer, which is this one here. So what we need to do is find out where a property is and whether it intersects and is impacted in any way by these EMZ layers. Now we can do that by navigating around the project and zooming in using our scroll wheel on our mouse to zoom in, and then just to click and pan to move around and navigate the project data or the cadastre layer. And then if you recognize your property, you can come in here and click on this particular earth or farm boundary and perform your query like that. If, however, you don't recognize your property boundaries, or you're unsure of what it looks like, you can do another query using a query builder tool, and we'll do that next. So to do the query builder tool, the first thing you need to do is activate the layer you're going to be querying by selecting it in your table of contents. So we've done that here. You can see that the cadastre layer is highlighted. That means it's an activated layer. Then we come up here to our tools tab, and in our tools tab there will be a query button, which will open our query tool. Let's select that now. Okay, and the first thing you'll notice in the top left hand window here is a series of names. These are the field names in the attribute table. So if we want to find a farm with a particular name, or we know the SG code or the farm number, we can select those here and then add a query or a little expression to the expression window, and then select it that way. In our example, we're going to use the parcel number string. So we're going to say parcel number, we'll say equals to, and then in single inverted commas we're going to add the farm number, and that is portion 2 of farm 122. And the first thing we need to do is test it to see that it is a valid query. It is. One feature matches the query, so we select OK. Okay, so automatically the program then will zoom to that particular property boundary or that feature that was selected, and it also adds it to the table of contents. So we've got a new layer here added to the top, and that is reflected in our the actual expression which we added. Parcel number equals to portion 2 of farm farm 122. So now all we need to do is click using our standard little cursor here with the hand. We click on that property, and what that'll do then is open up a window and show us which layers intersected the area we clicked. And there are 3 layers that are currently intersected, and that is the cadastre, the original layer we queried, and then the new layer we added, and then also the Saldanha EMF area. So we're interested in this one here, which is our query that we added, doing the query builder, and we select it, and it should pop up with our attribute table. There it is. So there now is our attribute table for that particular farm boundary. Similarly to the query builder, these are the field names, and then at the very bottom here there are 3 fields, EMZ 1, 2 and 3, and these are URL links to the document that is, well, the portion of the document or the section of the document that is concerned with that EMZ zone. So what we notice is that there is no record for EMZ3. Now that indicates that EMZ3 does not intersect with this property boundary, but EMZ1 and EMZ2 do intersect, and if we want to find out what documentation is applicable to that particular EMZ zone, we just select the URL by clicking on it. Okay, and what that'll do is have the effect of opening up your browser. It should automatically open your browser and scroll to the specific section involved. So we clicked on EMZ1, and this is EMZ1. So now you've got an idea of what documentation or procedures or steps apply to that particular zone. The same would happen if we clicked on the EMZ zone 2. It would scroll to that section in the document PDF. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, so now we have access to the documentation via the URL link. But if we want to get a better idea of which layers specifically for the EMZ1 intersect our property, we can turn those layers on from our table of contents. Like I mentioned previously, these EMZ layers are the consolidated layers, so that's all the layers that are specific to EMZ1 as the Keep Assets Intact zone have been merged together and colored up in one color. I'm going to turn that off now, and then I'm going to turn on the EMZ Keep Assets Intact layers. Now these are the actual sublayers as they appear in the GIS and the maps that appear in the documentation as well. So it's been turned on, and it's just taking a while to open. But it eventually opens. It depends on how fast your machine is, how quickly it might open. If you want to get a better idea of the actual layer involved, you can maximize or expand the various areas, and you can see based on the colors which area applies to your particular property. In this instance, we've got the critical biodiversity area. Turn that off. You'll see it will show you that was in fact the layer running across that boundary. So there you go. You can now get an idea based on the symbology of the various layers and how they appear in the table of contents, which layer has impacted on the property you're concerned with. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this brief tutorial. Please follow up in the documentation that was packaged with the DVD. There's a PDF tutorial in there that should assist you in running through these steps in a bit more detail. And there's also contact details in there should you wish to send me an email for clarification or just a better idea of how things work and maybe why they were put together as they have been. Okay, lastly, before I forget, I just want to show you a nice little feature of ArcGIS Explorer. You'll notice that I haven't added the other infrastructure like roads and rail, etc., and town boundaries to this particular project. That is because the extra information just makes the project bigger, and when we have access to streaming or the ArcGIS online base layers, they're not necessary in any event. So I'll just show you how to turn those on now. So what this is basically base data which is streamed via an internet connection. And if you come up to your map option here under Home Tools, so you select the Home Tools, the Home tab, I beg your pardon, and then open up the map, and then click on Base Map, and a number of base layers will be displayed here. Okay, so let's just click on that again, and we can select, I'm just going to select this imagery as our base layer, and that will stream in and redraw and be placed at the bottom of your table of contents. Because it's an image, it's placed at the bottom, otherwise it would block everything out that is underneath it. So it automatically comes in at the bottom, and then slowly redraws depending on your internet, your broadband. It will either be a slow or a reasonably quick stream. You can see it's gradually being added. Okay, so it's gradually being added. There it is at the bottom of the table of contents. Another thing to note is that if you want to add another base layer, for instance, instead of the imagery, the satellite imagery, you just want to add the OpenStreetMap roads data. When you add that, it'll be added in place of this. You can't add two base maps at the same time. Only one will be drawn or streamed at any one time. So if we just zoom in a little bit, I'll give you an idea of how useful this can be as a direct stream to satellite imagery and other information. Nothing too interesting going on here, so if we just scroll down here, there we go. Okay, so that's an idea of how you can add additional base data. Okay, now that is it for the tutorial. I hope it's been useful. Please refer to the documentation, the tutorial, if you like a more in-depth tutorial. Otherwise, enjoy, and I hope it's a useful tool. Cheers.